Asha ma'am, how do you think that Goa has positioned itself as a next India's innovation hub, specifically in terms of a food, right? Um, Now, talking about blending local wisdom with global um, trend, and especially you have a brand which, or you have a company which supports from local to global. So, how do you see that Goa shaping up in that sense?
First of all, thank you so much for inviting me here on this wonderful platform. Wonderful because I think it's a wholesome platform with which Goan women are going to benefit. Coming to the food business, I think it's Goa has got a very, very rich heritage. I mean, it has got a combination of like our roots, the old Saraswat Hindu food, and we also have the the Portuguese culture and the food from Portuguese as well. So there is a complete combination of both. Today you look at Goa, and there is no cuisine from any state of India or any country which is not having an outlet in Goa, because the kind of people who visit Goa also are both. I mean, we have global people visiting Goa, we have domestic people visiting Goa. So definitely there is a need where we organize this whole food business. We combine the global trends with a Goan twist, of course, and offer it to all the people who are visiting Goa and all the people who live in Goa, because this is what we need to do. We need to have I personally feel that we got to have some kind of community cloud kitchens in villages where you can not just skill the women out there, the youth out there, but also give them the exposure to digital platforms like you mentioned. You give them funding and options, which a lot of grants are there which could be availed here. There could be a cold storage perhaps in small way, which could be set up. And if we are giving them all this, besides this you can also have a pool of mentors, so which will have the like successful people in business, and you could have chefs coming in. So all this is how you could combine both and really make Goa a very organized global platform, because Goan cuisine is really unique. It is an experience. Every cuisine in Goa tells a story. So yes, definitely we can,
Parikshit sir, I have a question for you. Sir, what role can a food entrepreneurs play in transforming Goa's identity from tourism state, right, to a culinary destination? Now, everybody wants to come to Goa because of beaches. But do you think in months, years, or whatever period from now, would one would want to go to Goa to taste food, like food first?
Thank you, Anush, for inviting me for this event. And coming back to your question, I think there is a fantastic opportunity for foodpreneurs to showcase Goa and its rich heritage. So Goa has your traditional culture which you can showcase, like the Portuguese cuisine, the Saraswat, the coastal cuisine, and also over the last couple of years there has been a lot of migration and the cuisine has evolved. So what we're looking at, evolved form of cuisine. So along with the growth of the tourism industry, Goa sees a lot of footfall from international visitors as well as domestic. So this gives an opportunity for foodpreneurs to showcase. You talk about experiences, you talk about tables, you talk about workshops, you talk about packaged products, you talk about storytelling in food, you talk about food photography. I think the sky is the limit. There are so many opportunities. And right now what's trending is, food trucks, food carts. I think the opportunities here are like fantastic. And with, all the stakeholders, and the whole entire ecosystem, if it can work together, I think, we have a beautiful offering for anyone who's coming into Goa. And Goa is a really a great place, to kind of to launch your product. We've seen that with, a lot of alcohol brands coming into Goa and launching. So any brand, coming into Goa can actually try the market, and then it can go to the Indian market and then internationally as well. we've seen so many startups, coming with great ideas from big cities. They want to kind of, try the product in Goa, and they want to kind of fine tune and then take it to the global markets. So I think the opportunity out here is fantastic, and it's entirely, a great ecosystem out here.
Prashant sir, I have a quick question for you. Do you think incubators are ready for a food tech or a clean label experimentation in this local space over here? Because that would be required, right? When you want to look at not just a food truck, there has to be more food tech and clean label experimentation. Is the incubation ready or gearing it for it?
We had the numbers enumerated about the startups, right? Around 600 startups. And out of 600, around 25% are from the IT. The next 18% comes from the food sector,
Wow.
and the next 13% comes in tourism, which is very close. And then we have many other sectors, right? So I remember this first three. So food as such is a very important component of the ecosystem in Goa. And I come from a place I come from Salsette basically. And the aspiration of every people around Salsette was to do a catering course and go to get a job on the ship sometime back when I was very young. So it comes very naturally when we talk about food and so. So I remember in the year 2010 or so, the United Nations had come up with a program known as Skills. It was skilling for improved livelihood and living standards. And in fact, Abhishek is smiling. In fact, Dr. Ajit, who is the director, did the survey at that point in time about what kind of culinary education needs to be imparted and how do we package this whole ecosystem so that it becomes an entrepreneurial venture. And it was implemented by Father Agnels, the project, which was a 3-year project, I guess, 4-year project. And they identified 4 sectors. One was food production, one was beverages, and one was bakery, and there was ready-to-eat items. Yeah, these were the 4 areas. And they trained the people in the rural areas of Basem, Kaundongrim, very remote in Kankona. And they came with a complete package of packaging this and making a final product out of that. Basically, it was known as Sugran. Sugran means good hands and good food, which is basically it's a Konkani word. And that project ran for some time, and I didn't follow it up. But it didn't become global or national like Zanti's or any other product. So I think it's important we need to understand what has happened to the training and skilling and the efforts which have gone in earlier, and try to understand and learn from the challenges and mistakes which have been committed. So as a expansion of that came the first incubator, technology business incubator in Goa, same at Father Agnels itself in 2012. And they had 2 focus areas. One was technology and one was definitely food, because they had a catering college during that time and they had the experience of implementing the skills project. And I understood that support was quite effective. They had a full-fledged lab which was set up, and it was quite effective, and it went on to support many startups in the food sector. After that, there was a combination, I guess, between a partnership between GIM and Fierce Kitchen, where they came out with supporting food startups, because supporting food technology startup was something which was the need of the hour at that point of time. And it matured on, and then government also got involved. I understand that the Biodiversity Board has come out with a product which is called Goan. They have set up kitchens in rural areas, which is basically to train and give opportunities for startups to support.
And good afternoon, everyone. It's indeed an honor to be here today. Thanks to the wonderful work being done by the team here, Aspire for Her, Seeds, SBI Foundation, to create Sashakti itself, I think is empowerment in a way. Lishi, yes, I'm Anisha, and together with my partner Anand, We founded Aurum Foods about 12 years ago. And little did we think that a small team of 9 would grow to an enterprise of 600 employees. And it's been a very fulfilling journey for sure. We decided to give back to the society all that we've taken in from it. And that's how we came across an idea close to our heart, wherein we make these food cards and hand them over to lesser privileged women as means of livelihood. So currently, as we speak, I'm very excited to share we have 100 such food cards. We have 100 such food cards, and we've tied up with an NGO, Advita, in Pune. And that NGO is going to hand over those food cards to the respective ladies. What we do is not just provide them with a food card, but it's actually a complete mentorship program wherein we train them, and it involves the basic skills of cooking, your little bit of business management, customer interaction, maintaining hygiene, so that we cover two aspects in that way. We also provide them with regional delicacies that are freshly prepared and nutritious and hygienic at the same time. So it's a project very dear to our heart. It's a complete package, and we firmly believe that when a woman enriches her own life, she's not just limiting it to that, but she's actually illuminating the path for many others. So let us all continue to grow in that purpose, and I'm very happy to be associated. I think Mridala herself is she's a source of inspiration with all the wonderful work that is being done. And let us all lead the way towards building a stronger community. Thank you for having me here.
Good evening, one and all. First of all, a big congratulations to the entire team putting this up, a great platform. Well, my story is, I'll try to keep it short and sweet. Started Cavatina a few years back, 2013. Small little corner in Benauli, and did it the organic way. No social media, no PR agencies working for me. It was just us doing what we did. And one thing what we had in mind was quality. We were very strong on the quality form part of it, that no matter what, we don't drop our quality, our consistency. Over the years, and what I was celebrating at Cavatina was world cuisine. Fast forward 2020, we got hit by COVID, and I don't package my food. I don't believe in putting it in a container and carrying it along. It's more of an experiential kind of thing I do at Cavatina. So 6 months to 8 months, the restaurant was shut. I mean, I had bills to pay. I had to take care of my team. I had to, of course, their families and everybody had to be taken care of. And I had so much time in hand that I said, what am I going to do with so much of time? This is the time for me to make fruitful use of it. So I chose to go and spend time in small villages. I went to fishermen communities. I went to corners of Goa, like Malkornem. I went to Kotigaon village. And then I spent a lot of time with these people. Initially, we were having a discussion, and we got to hear about various communities of Goa, right? There was the Saraswat era, there was the Portuguese era, there was the pre-Saraswat era, which were the local, the aboriginals, we want to call them, Dangars, the Velips, the Gaonkars, the Kunbis, the Gaudis, etc., etc. I said, I'm interested in knowing what food these people had post the Saraswat era. And that year also I was given the opportunity of doing food for the Serendipity Festival, where they said, Chef, we like the way you approach food and make something out of it. So I said, I would love to showcase the tribal food of Goa. No, tribal food of Goa was something which was very alien to everybody. I used my influence and got people from across Goa. And in my workshop in Veli, I have a farm to table kind of a workshop there, which I do my experiments. I had about 14 women come and enjoy themselves. Trust me when I say this word, enjoy. I'm getting goosebumps. We cooked food without a single drop of oil. There was no oil, because oil or coconut was meant to be for the privileged. So this was not out of the luxury, but just the condition they were in. Number two, everything, whatever was made, was gluten-free. There was no wheat back then, right? It was all the other, millets and stuff, rice, millets. Number 3, dairy free. No milk, no butter in the food. Even more. Number 4, vegan.
Oh my God.
Number 5, organic. So now you'll ask me, how was the food? The food, and guys, there was no masalas, no garam masalas in their food, right? It is basic food done right. It is the implements they use. It is the seasonality of what they work with. And I came out of this as a different chef. My thought process for food changed absolutely. And somebody was saying, yes, what is the future of food? This is the future of food. The place you are living in, your ecosystem, how do you, how do you take care of your soil is what it is at the end of the day. We all are different personalities, right? They say there's a particular saying that one man's food is another man's poison. Yeah, why? Because we are all different doshas. Her dosha is different from my dosha. Her different dosha is from somebody else's dosha. So we have this beautiful philosophy in our Ayurveda called different styles of tamasic, rajasic, sattvic food. And based on your dosha, it could act for you. So this is my major project I'm working on. I'm working in my farm where we will identify what dosha this person is and what's the best food this person can be given for. Right? I think that's the future of food. I mean, it doesn't matter whether it is, and definitely it's not the processed foods that we are, I mean, just a phase. I think we are mature enough to understand where the food has to come from. And I think that's the best way forward for our future generation to look at food. So last year, after getting this information, I decided to vagabond India. And I did all the mountains. I went to the south, I went to the Nilgiris, I saw how the Toda tribe work. I went to the Western Ghats, I worked with the ladies in the Western Ghats. I went to Dharamshala, which was on the western side, and I went to Uttarakhand, which is on the eastern side. There I worked with these women called the Mati Sangatan. These are a bunch of women who have decided saying that in our state, there'll be no hotels. There will be a one room dedicated from their home for any visitor who wants to come. We will cook for them and cook stuff for them which is growing in your garden. Literally, I can share photos of this place I stayed in. Everything, the milk, the vegetables, the grain, everything, honey was all done there by the women. Hats off to those, women of the Mati Sangatan. If they can do it, why can't we? I think Goa's got the beautiful topography, the whole setting for us to, get inspired by what those people are doing out there. Yeah, I think this is just the beginning. Thank you.
I come from various disciplines. Actually, my journey started a very long time ago. At the age of 8, I started cooking. I was just obsessed with cooking. But of course, I went to become a scientist. I'm a microbiologist, but left all that behind. And I think the only place that I've used my microbiology is in cooking, in making bread. That's the only place that it's really helped me in the kitchen. But anyway, I'm not going to really talk about too much of my career as such, but what we're doing in Goa. So my husband comes from Goa originally, from the south. He's an Akirkar, Saraswat Brahmin. And I'm a Sindhi, and who's grown up all over the world, as is my husband. And my husband's mother is German Jewish. So we come from a family of many influences. And when Rahul and I started our first restaurant, not our first, our second restaurant, which was Indigo, there was a lot of influence of local cuisine. So I brought my influence in, he brought his GSB influence in. So in 1999 we were experimenting and working with, you know, the food, our food, and where we could take it. And it was not about fusion, because in my mind, fusion causes confusion. So it was more about influences. And anyway, coming back to, I, so moving back to Goa has almost been like coming home. Really, truly, I don't think I've been so comfortable in my skin as I am here. It really is home for me. And you know, when I came to Goa, I didn't just want to open another restaurant. I think there are enough restaurants. I wanted to do something like Avinash is doing, you know, what can I do? What can I give back to the community? And so using my experience, I wanted to create a space, and I did create a space where we're cooking global, but sourcing local. And so we started the journey working with an incredible permaculturist. Her name is Clea Chandmal. She has a food forest at the edge of Goa, Maharashtra. And the whole idea was to create conscious chefs. So you see, I can't control how the customer eats, but I can influence how the customer eats and how my chefs cook, and create a future generation of chefs. So, you know, I mean, to try and understand how the impact of Kellogg's cornflakes on the environment was shocking enough. You know, just listening to somebody telling me the story of what happens. So, so every year we go to Clea's farm, the entire team, and we spend a lot of time, you know, understanding how to regenerate soil. And there's a big difference between organic and regenerating soil. How do you create continuity? And so that's what we're trying to do. And in the last year, that's how long we've been open, we've achieved tiny bits, because this is a continuous process. So we're trying to go zero waste. That's a long process. We don't use plastic. We try not to even print, you know, things like colors. We use natural colors and stuff like that. And also, I pride myself on us being a restaurant and a kitchen with 50% women. In fact, earlier on, we used to work with Salam Balak while we had Indigo, and a bunch of kids would come to, a bunch of women would come, young girls would come to our kitchen, and to figure out who had a sort of a yen for cooking. And some of them are in cruise ships today, and they would learn in our kitchen. Some of them got, you know, some of them left, some of them stayed and then went on to travel the world, you know, so someone from the street. And my personal story, which I have had with, is someone who's worked with me. Her name is Shweta Aprad, and she came to me years ago while we owned Indigo. And she moved to Bombay from Ratnagiri, and she used to clean the streets of Bombay and Kolaba. And then she soon moved on to houses. And one day I told I was having an issue at home. I was busy at work and I didn't have someone to just make basic dal chawal for my kids. And so I said, Shweta, you know, please pakao, you know, just please cook it. She said, nahi ma'am, mera khana to alag hoga aapse. I said, no problem, just cook whatever. She turned out to be the most incredible cook, but the amazing thing is that she didn't know it. She just did not know that she had magic in her hands. I made her drop every cleaning job that she had. And I said, that Rahul and I would teach her. So she's been working with me for the last 15 to 20 years from the time she started. And today she's a chef at the Marai Kitchen.
Wow.
And she is incredible.